welcome to Rum and Tings, where we drink rum and talk about Tings. I'm your host, Lana.
And I'm Mr. X.
And our guests today are...
Jonathan.
Katie.
And make sure to like and subscribe. Comment any topics, issues that you'd like us to discuss. Our topic today is individual perspectives on dating versus relationships and marriage. What is your perspective on dating versus marriage?
Okay, perspective on dating versus marriage, they are completely different animals. Like I say, from the guy point of view, there's a lot of risk in different ways that is expected as a guy. I get that the women have their own different expectations that weigh heavy on it too. Not necessarily saying one is heavier than another, but it does create pressure that can lead to the down spiral or bad behaviors between either gender.
I personally think that if I knew then what I knew now about marriage, I don't know what I would do. I don't know if I would jump into marriage especially such at an early age. I do think that, what is perceived in media as marriage is and what marriage really is completely different.
Yes.
Dating is easier. It's harder because, it's about finding that person and dealing with all that. But in a sense, it is a little bit easier than actual marriage, because now you're stuck with one person. You have to conform to one person. You have to deal with this person. It's kind of like, now there's kind of no out. Right. And you're like, dang, I'm stuck with this man. So now you really just have to make it work, and you have that added pressure. You have to make this work, especially if you got kids. You're like, dang, I really got to make this shit work. Right. But there's so many components to marriage that I feel like it's not spoken about enough. Right. We know everything about dating. We know about the talking stage. We know about all of that. But when it comes to marriage, it's just there's not much knowledge being spread around or known. It's like you don't know what to expect unless you truly get into it. And then the issues that come from it, you don't know how to navigate it, because everything is just so new, and everything other couples, they don't really tell you like that. They'll just tell you, well, men will tell men,
marriage is great. It's awesome.
And then other women will be like, oh, you just deal with it and stuff like that. But you really don't really know what it is like until you get into it. And sometimes, I don't know, some people just don't like it.
Some people literally flip when you get the paper. When you're dating to find love. And once you are in love and you have found that love, and this is your perspective love, then that's when love becomes a choice daily.
Right. So I got a question there. So, do you think that would make that trend in direction easier? Do you think you should marry based off love or based off what the person can do for you and our family if that union meet?
Okay, so first of all, you got to know what love is. Mm-hmm. You got to know that love is patience, love is kind, love is long bearing, love is suffering. So once you find that one person that you want to do all of that with, which is love, then me personally, I feel like everyone should marry based upon love, and this is my person. I want to do life with this person. I want to build. I want to grow, because everybody is going through phases. No matter if you get married younger or if you get married older, you're going to have a phase where you're in your 20s and then possibly having kids, and then once you have kids, women's bodies changes, women's hormones changes, everything changes for women, and then you have men, and y'all, whether y'all like to say it or not, sometimes y'all do tend to react based off of our emotions. Mm-hmm. So us women then have to make sure that we conform and try to, change who we are, because every man requires something different.
Yep. That's true. But I also don't feel like when you say what the man can do for you, that is not truly a sound foundation, because everybody goes through financial struggles. True. So even if you marry somebody who's at the peak right now, there's no guarantee he'll always be at that peak.
Stay there, agreed.
So if he falls, then it's kind of like
Are you going to be there?
because there is no love there, then you're just like, well,
here's the
this
issue.
is what I'm married you because of what you can do for me, as opposed to me loving you.
But here's the issue, though. Yeah, love sounds good and all, but love does change, and then we can clearly put that American marriages are primarily based off of love. None of it has to do with duty, because majority of marriages end because they fell out of love, not no legitimate reason.
I don't think that's the case. I think honestly, communication and finances are the two main things that kill relationships.
But the communications and love,
it is.
That has nothing to do with love. Love, if love is so
vulnerable
vulnerable
with your partner about things like.
But it's vulnerable. Duty does not change.
You have to be vulnerable with your partner.
No.
Both people.
No, I'm saying love is well, sorry, I used the wrong term. Apologize. Okay. Love is volatile. Duty does not change. Love, because the reason why, and another what reaffirms that, when they introduced that, I'm trying to come up with the word that where if they do not be on the same page, you can end marriage off no fault marriages. No fault divorces. No fault divorces. The amount of divorces increased tremendously. Well, because it's used as an excuse just because we fall out of love. Well, they can use that to get out of it. Then and they use it
but
based
that's not
off
right.
Love.
And that's where, like, from the biblical standpoint comes in, because the only way, truly, even if, according to the word, I'm technically an adulteress still, because I have been married before and my husband is not dead. The only way for me to not be an adulteress, same way with him because he's had a previous marriage, same way that he's an adulteress in God's eyes. But love, the ultimate love that we've known, and the ultimate forgiveness and everything that we've known came through Jesus. So we're supposed to, as a marriage model, we're supposed to model our love through Christ. How Christ loved the church. He's supposed to love me how Christ loves the church. I'm supposed to love him, honor him, submit to him. I'm supposed to be everything. Polly homemaker, pretty much.
It sounds. So this question here is not to say why it's wrong and stuff, but it's talking about, hey, there's the how you're supposed to go guidelines, and there's the practical when you're in the live action. How does that actually apply towards the day-to-day issues and such?
As long as you both seek Christ daily, and you're filled up with his love, and you're constantly working on yourself, being a better person, instead of, like the Bible says, turn the other cheek. Every little tiff.
I can slap you twice, but you're going to ride out cheeks.
But no, I'm talking about like
I'll get you, Steve.
But you know what I mean? So, but even if that was the case, I'm supposed to turn the other cheek, and even though he may not be loving me the way that I'm loving him, it's still supposed to be that way in order for the ultimate sacrifice.
I feel like that just playing a part into the duty that comes out of being married. Because, again, you're not going to like each other every day,
right?
You may not exactly love this person every day. But at the end of the day is the duty that you have for this person. Just like Jesus has it, he does his duty to you. You do your duty to him. It's a duty. Right. I put you first. You put me first. We both fill each other.
Wouldn't that be better to marry based off duty than love? Because literally everything you said. Wait. Hold up. Because literally right there, you literally described marrying off of. Actually no, I'll take that back. It is love things in terms of duty, but that
person needs those qualities from the beginning, because when we're dating as women, we're looking for qualities in a man that we think are upholding, or we think, like, for instance, one of the things that I fell in love with him about is the fact that he...
Not his chocolate face?
Oh, he's handsome. Absolutely adorable.
But
he loves Jesus Christ with all of his heart and his soul and his mind, and that was one of the things that I found most attractive about him. So truly, for marriages to work, you have to be like-minded. And if
That's
you
true.
are on two different spiritual realms, it's going to be hard. And there's a big possibility that it may not work, because that's another reason why people do not make it, because they don't believe in the same things. They don't see eye to eye. Sometimes things are rushed. Sometimes things are blurred. Sometimes things are misconstrued. Sometimes people hide who they are. But there is a 6-month rule that I always like to say. After 6 months, really can't nobody hide who
6
they
months
are.
to fuck or 6 months?
No, to
relationship?
show who your true
to
colors.
show your true colors.
Okay, but I'll say you reached my expiration. Talking about 6 months, it's like we must have like a break between that 6 months. Then we can talk.
But no, I do, yeah, because when you're dating somebody, you're dating them to see the similarities, characteristics that is something that you want long term. So when you marry somebody, like you know, you're supposed to know who this person is. You're supposed to just, at that point, when the marriage starts, it is just, I'm your wife, you're my husband, you fill my cup, I fill your cup, we work together. There should not be any other surprises, any turns, any twists. I mean, that's to be expected, but at the same point, the foundation of our marriage is supposed to be set when we were dating.
Right.
When I said yes to the marriage, the foundation is supposed to be there,
Right.
and it's supposed to be never altering. We just build up. We don't stay
I agree with
stagnant.
that.
Right.
And so a lot of times when you date somebody, you don't always know who they are, or they won't even know who they are
Right.
sometimes. So
Or
I
what
feel
they
like
say.
exactly. So it's kind of like you might be set on this guy, you think, okay, this
Or
is
they
who
may
he
not
is.
realize, because I will tell you, this happened with me and Elijah. I was single for a long time before me and Elijah made it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good. Like, I don't need a man right now.
I could
like,
do all bad. Bad
okay, you know, so, but that's how I was.
Right.
Like, legit, okay, I could do bad by myself.
Right.
So, like, at the end of the day, like, see, now I don't even know where I was going with that. And I'm not even thinking.
Walter has that effect on people.
But, whatever.
But
go ahead.
the foundation is supposed to be solid, and I feel like with a lot of men, right? They try to get into your underwear.
Yes.
They trying to get you into bed, and so
Yes.
they'll make you feel like, oh, babe, I'm all of that plus a bag of chips.
Yes,
But
exactly.
no, hold on though.
But then when you
if
get
you're gonna-
married,
no, wait. But before you continue that foolishness, don't forget the today's society, which I can say, when this the part which y'all decide who have sex, y'all created a narration where there's no polite way to simply say, hey, let's have sex. It has to be in regards for relationship.
We want it passionate. We want it, especially
but-
for the first time.
But it's
that's exactly why they
but it's the
act that
issue
way,
of.
if that's the way, like,
we
if-
want to feel that love.
But-
and
that
I
you
understand,
say.
and I understand that completely. But like you guys said earlier, or even off record, men are dogs. You know, they
I didn't say that. I said a lot of men come for that one thing because boys. That's what they want.
That's the only thing. But
I
when
hear
we
you.
come to a woman,
But don't
we
start it off the conversation. You can at least be like, hey,
But that
something beautiful.
we're conforming.
I want to talk to you, and don't just come out, hey girl, I want to see how you look when you bust it wide open. Like, are you serious?
But I don't.
Right.
But it's
You
not.
know what I'm saying?
That is
Like,
the
that's the
disrespect,
kind of
though.
disrespectful
Okay.
stuff
That's
that
very
no woman
disrespectful. Okay,
wants to hear.
Exactly.
Because,
That's-
like, I mean, if my husband were to tell me that now, I'd be like, come on, babe, let's go. But when at first, like, if you were to hit me in my inbox right now, saying
What that tongue
fuckery,
do?
I literally would have ignored, seen,
But okay.
deleted.
But then that goes to the point of why I can say this is not my preferred technique, but why they pretend to do the courting to court you in order to have sex. Because the first thing it's not like when they
it's
see.
supposed to be to court you
Wait,
to marry
wait,
you.
wait.
Because
Thank you.
technically
But-
sex is supposed to be off the table because
Okay.
technically we're not supposed to fornicate before marriage.
But we
Thank
gotta.
you.
I pray
Okay.
that my husband, I'm not, God forbid. I pray that my kids are like that. But in a world like today where sex is so
It's
glorified,
hard.
it's
But-
very hard.
But let's be real. You have yes, we have the so-called how it's supposed to be and what it actually
Well, there's
is.
only two ways. It's only
Actually-
God's way or the world's way.
Okay, but this is the world, so we gotta operate.
but that don't make it right.
But no, wait, don't walk away. Don't walk away from this standpoint.
Jesus Christ.
So let's not walk away from this standpoint. Before I continue the standpoint, let's be clear though. because we put a religion. Did we not? When I say we, everybody at this table had sex before we married.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, then, wait.
Repented for our
But
sins. Well, I mean, I know
I did too.
have.
I repented after every stroke. But that continues. But on the standpoint of, yes, we know exactly how it's supposed to be and what actually really happened. We know at the end
What's
of the day.
the likelihood of it happening?
Honestly, I know. Can y'all say that y'all
not
know
that it doesn't
anybody?
happen.
Can y'all say that y'all know anybody?
Tell him, you got a man. You got a man, a strong chocolatey man, and Hershey Kisses. Someone white
with
chocolate, but the vanilla is questionable.
With the elf ears, don't forget the elf ears.
Hey,
I got you.
What's good?
But anyway, but no, we're gonna keep this smoke right here. We're gonna see this before you get distracted. So we know at the end of the day, women require courtship for sex. We also confirm that when a guy meets a person, he does not say like, "Damn, your brain is fine." All he see is physical first. We know you see physical first. The first thing comes with a nut, then it's true. Then everything else after that is getting to know you.
Do you know how sexy it is to see a man, such as my husband, babe, I want to brag on you for a second, who can actually resist their flesh to a real woman? Do you know how sexy it is to see a man of a stature and see a most beautiful half-naked woman walk by and your husband not even flinch?
Yeah, that's very easy when your nuts are dry.
I'm done.
I'll be honest with you.
It's very easy when your nuts are dry, but
You know what, baby, they are. But
and let's be clear, that is a duty of a wife. But continue.
but I'm just saying, like,
okay, yes, it's kind of hard to get going when it's empty.
That is true though. He has a point. That is ew.
Oh, so I'm supposed to keep you empty?
You damn right.
I mean, you keep me empty before. If somebody don't do it, somebody else will.
I can hear that because going back to the fact that women are emotional creatures, and sometimes when y'all want to say, "Oh, y'all don't respect us," all we can say is, "Well, baby, I don't know why you're not getting this," and then that's a disrespectful comment. So then y'all get mad and find a purpose to be mad and want to go look at something.
But then the same point, y'all talking about, hey, y'all not sexual creatures. Y'all say, wait. Oh no, I'm not saying you specifically. I'm talking about the general. Now I see why you're dating her, but I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about that point. But
I am a mirrors, okay.
But it's the point of, it's just like, hey, the same way where y'all not as most on the common basis not overly sexually. Just because a guy do something, y'all will immediately go after and do the same out of spite. Will y'all not do it?
Yes.
Okay, we gotta confirm. Okay, that's confirmed. Yes, but we take that. We all got her sins. We all got it.
I just said anymore before.
Yes, I mean, no, but it's the point of you have to. It's the point of you got to acknowledge the darkness before you can get to the light. But that's why you
acknowledge what your sins, what you know that are your temptations, and then that's when you heal them. I've done a lot of changing, a lot of healing, a lot of evolving over the last couple of years, truly. And if you really take that time to spend with yourself and self-love yourself, it's a lot easier to overcome things in your marriage.
Okay, so
in relationship, point blank period, you're supposed to evolve over time.
Yes,
like you are never the same person 20 years ago that you were.
Amen.
So how do you know you're? So how would you know you did not evolve past a certain point unless you actually test it in a real world environment?
That's not new card.
You don't have to be tested in a real world
it's one of these
to
where
know that you don't that you're not the same person, especially when you have people in your life that can testify to your difference.
Oh no, you can change. You can change difference, but it's if
you
do not start.
I agree with you, but this is what she's trying to say is like at the end of the day, when it comes down to somebody being there to actually see the change, it's a whole nother different story on a third party. Like a third party, they may not see exactly what's going on inside. So when it comes down to what actually goes on, you may actually get over any of your negative attributes or anything of that sort at that moment. Some people take time. Some people take a lot of time.
Yes, because that's what I was gonna say before I got interrupted. Before I was single, so there's a lot of people that are sometimes single, and hey, I'm living with myself. So there may be some things that he may see that I didn't see was a problem. Do you see what I'm saying? Or you may not think it's a problem about me, but he think it's a problem with me because he's got to live with me. He's got to marry me.
It was more.
You see what I'm saying? So then you have to change and convert those things as a spouse, going back to compromise, and you have to compromise for that. For
no, I would say the more so is in here to make to let the energy through on. I'm gonna say it on my perspective or like how I say I experience. So let's say hey, I was unfaithful at some point. Then, and I did good and all that stuff, and in order to show, the only way for me to truly show that hey, I'm past a certain point. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same instance of when I do it, but it's a point of the time it happened. It was when I went out without you. Right. So you want to believe that hey, I'm not going to do it again, and you stay there for a reason because you somewhat agree, and if you stayed and you don't agree, you fucking stupid.
You are, but you're better than me because our deal breaker is cheat on me, baby.
But it's the point of
be alone real quick.
It's the point of wait here, but let me finish though before we run off. It's just the point of that. Hey, if I'm truly past that and not willing to do it, then you must be able to, and this will actually bring some lightness to the tender heart. Is if you let them go and see if they repeat itself. Because a lot of one of the biggest errors that people make and they live in tremendous is that hey, they made an error, so now you doing everything in your power to keep them from doing it. The point is, wait for the opponent. If you really think that this person can't control themselves, they're going to do it no matter which way you prod them to. So why put all this energy to stop every little thing when you know that at some point he's going to do it? Because they really want to do it, they're going to do it anyway, even with you there.
But that's
not saying that putting themselves in a compromising position.
That's not the point.
I'm not gonna live
the point is we are on a journey of trust, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You cannot dictate
you have to gain
me
the trust back. That is.
Thank you.
How do you gain the trust without doing something?
Okay.
Wait, but you cannot dictate to me when my trust can fully be gained.
Agreed.
Now we are on this journey, and we are on this journey together. We're giving each other whatever, like we're working towards this together. You cannot jump ahead of me and say, "Hey, babe, I think I'm good. Trust me." It don't work like that.
I mean, you're right.
She has to feel secure.
Yes.
In your
Once
marriage.
I feel so you can't do something a month ago and say, well, it's been a month, we good.
But what's the waiting time?
Like that.
So
because you can't put a time
limit.
Oh no, I get that though, but I get that point, and that's within reason. But then the other factor of it.
When do you get over it?
Yes.
Okay, well then, I mean, I agree with that there. Yes. But then
it's not asking for a specific answer though.
But this is where, but me personally, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I will not work through infidelity. Yeah. I have 2 ex-husbands to choose.
Wait, but you said you won't work to other. It says through the Christian standpoint, it's through. I get that. I get that though. It's not. This is not for judgment. It's the point of the thought process behind it. If we're going to apply religion based off. Religion on our relationship, but we're gonna make all our rules based off that. The infidelity is whether on the girl side or the guy. I'm just saying. That's the darkness that you set in the vows. Yes. So if you leave simply based off this incident happen, then you're not fulfilling your duty as that woman.
But
if we're
in the Bible, it says that adulterers and whoremongers are the reasons why you can't get.
But in the Bible, they did have multiple wives, so we gotta.
That was the whole generation before Jesus. We do not worry about before Jesus came because Jesus Christ came. He was the reason why, because God needed to know how it felt. He needed to know,
So you're telling me that Oh,
Tell him.
We don't.
It's only
anything
because
before Jesus Christ, because he was
but
our
it was
human
his
sacrifice.
word. Yes, he said the key words, he sacrificed for our sin.
Yes,
so they're saying
absolutely.
but the Bible did not say that hey, Adam had a multiple wives was a sin. So how are we going to say that's a sin if the Bible never said that was a sin?
No. Okay, time out.
Go ahead.
First of all,
No, that's just more of a clarification.
Go ahead.
Because that's something that's
you're
not
right.
there.
Understood. The Bible does not clearly say that it is a sin to have multiple wives.
Okay.
The Bible tells you no longer to have more than one.
Exactly.
It doesn't tell you strictly that it's a sin.
That's the New Testament.
But right, yes, the New Testament, it will tell you at the end of the day they would not want you to have more than one wife, because at the end of the day, with that one wife, how are you supposed to treat her everything, and then
give her the
as
love
the church,
like Christ,
you know,
yes.
because it's supposed to be, the Christ. You're supposed to treat the wife as the church. How are you supposed to treat that one wife
That church
as
has
the church?
But that church has multiple members. But continue.
No.
God loves
all,
everybody
the
the
church-
same.
Exactly. And the church is actually representing it as the people. The church is not an actually place. The church is referring to the people in the Bible.
people. And, yeah.
So it's not where you go, it's the people you're with.
And I feel like speaking on the infidelity part is like whenever that occurred, again, stating like the beginning of our marriage was a rocky road. We were living individual lives, separate lives. We would go out, do whatever we wanted to do that day, come home, and slept in the bed together. We were two individual people. Right? So what I've learned now in like the past year, maybe year and a half, is that what we were doing before wasn't a marriage.
Right. No,
Right,
absolutely
no.
not.
It was just
You were living.
we were
You're
like
supposed
this.
to leave and cleave. You're supposed to become one flesh, one twain.
We
when
weren't
you
like
become
that.
married.
So I
understand.
feel like for me it was not saying it was easier for me to forget, but like for me I could be like we weren't truly where we were supposed to be.
Understood.
We were
Okay, I
mentally
can agree
in
with
different places. We
But-
weren't mentally in a marriage. We were I do me,
Right.
you do you,
We're
and
good.
we'll meet together because we did not have any structure. I tell them all the time. We had no structure in our marriage. Or a marriage was whatever happened,
You
whatever
wanted
happened.
to. Right.
Yeah.
It was whatever you wanted.
So
it to be.
when the
It is
structure started and we started implementing our boundaries, we started saying, well, this is what I expect, this is what I want. And, it's expectations like, I tell you my expectations, you tell me your expectations. If I can meet that, we're
Right.
good. If I can't, then we go our separate ways.
Right.
Yeah.
Or expectations or boundaries are set. We have structure. Or marriage is a true marriage now. Back
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
it
Well-
was more of a free for all.
I can say this much on that part where you were saying, yeah, it was a free for all because at that time, I could say it's mostly through misinformation where I kind of kept it like, hey, you say your idea, I'll let you roll with it, and I say your idea. I did not do the traditional standpoint where when it came to decisions, I made the final decision, and we didn't have structure. Yeah, I did not. Yeah, I was trying to do it 50-50, which we realized that was wrong. As the man of the household, I'm supposed to like, hey, I'm supposed to not put that final decision on you. I'm supposed to use your input to verify my decision.
Use your
then,
input.
But the
Then
thing
go-
is,
then go
in
from
the
there.
beginning, he never said that, well, I want traditional, I want a man in the household, whatever. It was like we were dating. I mean, so our relationship went from dating to living together to married.
Because he put a bunch of shit in the house, and I didn't know
in
that.
like 6 months. It was so fast paced that there was nothing like. As far as a foundation being built, there wasn't any. It was just
that's
like
where I think, honestly, and that's where I will advise everyone. If you're not ready to get married, if you don't know who you are,
True.
if you don't know what you want out of a spouse,
Facts.
you got to know what you want from a marriage. Because my first time around, honestly, if I could go back, I wouldn't have married him. Would I still have had my kids? Absolutely, because I wouldn't trade them for the world. But I wouldn't have married him. I honestly probably wouldn't have got married until I met Elijah, because there's self-help books out there that you can, help yourself. There's honestly a book that I read, 31 Prayers for My Future Husband. And you are able to read through what a godly husband is supposed to be like the traditional roles, and then you also, there's places where you can write, you're speaking into existence what you want. So if you don't know what you want in a relationship, or even if you don't know who you are as a person,
I'll be honest
then
with you.
it's gonna be hard.
On
What's
the real, when it comes down, not to cut you off, but when it comes down to the perspective of dating and marriage, it is a whole nother different ballgame, because dating, like you said, you're supposed to set the expectations. You're supposed to communicate and tell them exactly what you need to succeed in a relationship that you believe. You know what I mean? So like, per se, some people feel like going out every week or every other week or even once a month is okay, which to each their own. There is no range. But as long as you're both on the same accord and you understand each other, you trust each other, it doesn't matter. You're not putting as long as your priorities are straight, then it shouldn't be a problem with anything. That's all where it comes down to.
So let me ask you, at what point does compromise become controlling? What point to you do you feel like, well, what she requires of me, what she wants and needs of me is not what I want or need, so I feel like it's controlling me.
Right. Okay.
At what point do you feel like it's control?
I feel like it's control when you've shown yourself to, like, your actions have never shown or have never gotten to the point where it's been a negative output. So, and say it again, because, I'm not very good. I smoke, and, I lose concentration.
So yeah, at one point do you feel like you're compromising too much and it's becoming control? Like, okay, I want to go out, she don't want me to go out. Or for whatever reason, what point do you feel like, okay, she's no longer asking me to compromise or conform, she's asking to control me
when I feel like actions. I'm losing myself. If I'm losing myself, then at that point, you're doing, like, I'm doing too much.
But you have to expect that yourself is changing once you get into the marriage.
Yeah, there's change. Don't get me wrong. You're right. There will always be change. Like you said, compromise. Compromise refers to both, not one. Yes. It refers to both. So if there's both of us are getting what we want, then at the end of the day, there is no control. You know what I mean? It has to be both of us getting what we want. So
that compromise thing is supposed to be, it's not necessarily always 50-50.
Right.
It's sometimes 90-10. Cause I can say, like, hey, you had it at some point, had issue with me liking to go out every weekend, Friday, Saturday. Then I explained to you, it's like, hey, I believe in the theology of work hard, play hard, Monday through Friday. I'm going balls to the wall. Everything hurt. I'm going hard. Wake up 7 o'clock in the morning, and I keep on going till the wheels fall off each day. Then the weekend comes, Friday, Saturday. This is my stress reliever, among other things during the week. But it's my stress reliever to get all this frustration out, so that the next day come, I'm ready to go hard again. You had issue of, hey, I want to go out constantly, but it's like, this is the way I function. Then to compromise for what you are, it's like, okay, hey, well, because your point didn't make sense. We spending excess money, we could put the other way. Then the compromise of that is like, either go out once a weekend and go harder that day and don't do nothing the other day, or cut down the spending on each occasion.
So let me ask you this, right? At what point, okay, let's say the wife may feel like she is doing too much compromising, and the husband is more so less saying, well, I am who I am, accept me for who I am, you compromise to me.
That's not how entirely it works. If there has to be, like I said, a boundary, and for us, it's the Bible. Like, strictly, like, if I'm doing something the Bible doesn't say, understood. You have full control over, stating, hey, you're in the wrong. We need to, figure out something else to do because this isn't going to work.
But let me just ask you this. Who defines what is wrong and what is right?
But if you're doing you can't even blame the Bible. If I'm doing this shit before we got married, why the fuck you mad I'm doing it now?
Because just because you're drinking before you got married doesn't mean it was right then.
No, but at the same time, it's like I'm saying, in the characteristics of, hey, this is me. I'm doing this. There is not necessarily doing anything wrong. Hurting it. It's not hurting the baseline.
No,
Everything
but
gets
narcissistic
done.
tendencies aren't good.
But how is it not? No, but it's not a narcissistic where it's just like, hey, if there's besides personal opinion, it doesn't hurt the bottom line. It doesn't stop nothing we have going on. It doesn't impede work or our livelihood. Then there and it does not stop progression. What warrants changing the complete behavior if it does not affect none of those factors?
Because somewhere, obviously, it is affecting it if your wife feels that way. That's where you men have to understand you truly have to compromise, especially if your wife is talking to you. Like, there's something that we're seeing or there's something that we're feeling if we're talking to you about this issue. And y'all honestly don't actually take the time to listen or hear us, because when we try to open up to you, we're automatically, boom, shut down because it's not what I want. This is what I'm going to do regardless of what you say. I'm a man type thing.
And don't invalidate. Because just because you may not see it or feel it, that does not mean it's valid or it doesn't exist.
Understood. But that goes the same on our part, though. Because if there's, like, let's say, like, I'm a big guy when it comes down to securities. Mm-hmm. If you have your shit together, you ain't got no worries about me. Why? Like, at the end of the day, you ain't got to worry about me. Like, if I've never made a mistake with you, then there shouldn't be an issue. Mm-hmm. Like, there should be no misjudgment in anything. Mm-hmm. Right. But at that point, if there is, then there needs to be, like, we need to hash that out, because, like, if there's no evidence of anything happening, then trust needs to be there. Like, you
shouldn't be penalized for
something that's
a discretion of another person.
But at the same time, I feel like a lot of men will see things and be like, "It's not a big deal to you." And I tell people all the time, what may not be a big deal to you is a big deal for somebody else. You cannot tell them how to feel. You cannot tell them to ignore it. And you cannot tell them, well, if it's not a big deal for me, then it shouldn't be for you. And if it's not logical for you.
Right. I understand that.
So at the same time, if your wife comes to you and say, I have a problem with this, it is for you, the only thing as a husband for you to do is to find the solution, not to question or combat.
Because if we were in those shoes, literally, if y'all were to turn it around and if we were to do y'all as men, do us, y'all would be big fucking mad.
See, y'all do it. Y'all, women who do that now, where even in the, how you say, the gay aspect of it, they would do the exact same shit. Then it'd be like, okay, hey, acting like it's something different. No, it's one of the things where you have perspective of it. Okay, you feel some type of way. Mm-hmm. And he's probably like, okay, we acknowledge it. If it truly, we can do our part where it's kind of like you have to have a balance towards give and take. Yes. I cannot basically, just because every time you fail, you think you feel some type of way based off something, and it makes no logical sense.
But
no. I can
situation though.
Well,
on that
I call next because I got some foolishry to cover.
Even with that, like, so we had a situation in which I thought I had a internet friend, in which case, you know, I've never met in person before, ever in my life, never seen her on video, anything of that sort. But
I ain't gonna lie, that story. That's all. I ain't gonna lie. I'm trying to side with you, but that story is suspect.
Licky faces and red emojis. That is not a fucking friend. A fucking friend. But you sending all these emojis to 2 weeks. 2 weeks before we made it official and pushing me the whole time to be official with your ass.
Because at the end of the day,
motherfucker, internet friend, my dick.
If there's no title, there's nothing there.
It doesn't fucking matter. You pushing me to be your fucking girlfriend, bro. But you sending licky fucking wet fucking emojis to some internet bitch. Then told this bitch, oh, don't worry about it. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take my wife's wife now. I'm gonna take my wife's fingerprint out of my phone. Told that bitch that. Fuck that bitch.
But
fuck that bitch.
Hold on, time out. Here's the
problem. Explain.
No. Let's say it get loud, like lower.
At the end of the day, is that this girl thought I had something for her, which there was no way you could read it and all afterwards.
Yeah.
Because yes, there were lucky faces back like 2 years ago.
No, it wasn't. It was it literally 2 weeks before we made official.
Right,
but he was on my dick, riding my dick. Are you gonna be my girlfriend or not?
But
Are you gonna be my girlfriend or not?
But wait, hold, before you continue,
Are you gonna be my girlfriend or not?
Before you continue,
somebody else's DMs, get her all credit.
But
that's
here, wait, no,
That's
wait.
messed up.
Okay, it's wait, calm down.
See?
What? She ain't gonna give me
yeah.
the title, the fuck?
But
what do you mean?
We
I'm not nothing to you.
But I'm giving him the. You know what?
But you ain't shit. You give everybody that, right? You got your ex that you got kids. But I mean, you gonna try and tell, you gonna say, you gonna
I'm not a fucking whore.
I didn't
You've
say
had
that.
motherfucking partners
I
in
didn't
me in
say
my fucking
that.
life. I
But
don't
that's
give
because
everybody
your
my
ass has
fucking
been
vagina.
married. You've been married.
Wait.